So you want to learn about the metaverse? Well, like a lot of things on the internet, it all goes back to porn. And you're gonna understand why at the end, so stay tuned. Perception of reality is seemingly becoming more diversified than ever before. But what if I told you that humanity is on the cusp of making those subjective truths into a real possibility? The trigger to this change will be the metaverse, which can be thought of as the next version of the internet. And to ensure we're all on the same page, we've got to keep in mind that the first version introduced was the ability to perceive the internet, while the second was the ability to travel with your internet. But the third version is the metaverse, which consists of being immersed within the internet. Being online has historically been a driving factor in the way business, community, and self-exploration is done, which is why I think the metaverse will play a huge role in our journey to become a Type 1 civilization. Before I explain, my name is Christian and welcome to Orbiter, where we discuss all future technologies and what it means for you. So, let's dive into the metaverse. To sum it up, the metaverse can be thought of as an immersive 3D virtual world, where people can communicate, collaborate, and interact with all of the things within it. This will be facilitated by virtual reality technology, which will replace the current vehicle for online life, your phone. Brain implants or devices that stimulate your senses may be used to simulate real-life sensations too. This will be complemented by a collection of virtual worlds that can be visited as easily as any app on your phone, or even stretch into the real world with augmented reality. You may have already experienced early versions of the metaverse though, through video games or social media. But as time goes on, access into these alternate worlds will become more seamless, and likely more vibrant than the world we currently live in. Even more interesting though, may be how these worlds could eventually be structured into a complete personalization for the user, providing people the choice to interact with digital avatars on other planets, time periods, or even have an AI manage NPCs to communicate and be your friend. These are, of course, just a couple ways the metaverse may work one day, but stay tuned to the end because we still need to figure out how it might impact your life. It's no secret that the internet has revolutionized how we share information, but it's also transformed the fundamentals of what a conversation actually is. I mean, who would have thought that language would one day devolve back to using modern-day hieroglyphics, or that we would have the ability to have so many conversations at once? These newfound aspects of our social lives may be amplified from the growth of the metaverse, or at the very least, create entirely new dynamics to the way humanity interacts. Some of those will actually be the mere addition of real-life subtleties we take for granted in the real world, like depth. Facebook has been working to solve this challenge, and it's recently expressed an interest in being a leader in the metaverse industry, primarily using their Oculus VR sets and large user base. Recently, it's begun rolling out a feature called Horizon Workrooms for the purpose of creating a more immersive and collaborative digital meeting environment. You could say the graphics are cute now, but over time they may appear as realistic as the real world if you so choose. Worlds like these could become the next iteration of things like message boards or Facebook groups, but with all of the mannerisms we take for granted. Imagine an avatar speaking to you on your left side, and you heard the audio a little louder on the side someone was speaking to you. Or if you were the type of person that spoke with your hands. All these subtle parts of communication will be integrated into our virtual worlds over time. Collaboration in these digital worlds may far exceed anything humanity has seen up to this point, since the internet is global, meaning that everybody on the internet can meet you there. For the first time, language barriers could be completely eliminated, since various softwares could be used to instantaneously translate conversations. Most of human history involved a rigid division in language, culture, and ideas, but the metaverse seems primed to speed up the transmission of shared information. Personally, I view the task of helping people to understand each other better as a main pillar to innovating civilization faster. And this enhanced form of communication may help create more meaningful global relationships. Currently, to communicate with people that don't speak your language, the the technology needed is very laggy and oftentimes doesn't communicate exactly what you mean. But if the translation actually sounds like you, and an avatar expresses the mannerisms that makes us individuals, I could imagine making friends in other countries may become pretty common. Unfortunately, for conservative-minded people in society, it may amplify anxieties about losing their culture, mostly because the metaverse may speed up the rate of new ideas spreading across the world. But it's important to keep in mind, every culture has inherited traits that inhibit innovation and sometimes lead to discrimination. But with an increase in immersive interactions across the world, humanity may be able to filter out the ideas that don't work a little better. How might this technology impact our economies, though? I often hear politicians say that we need to grow the economy, right? But unfortunately, that typically means we need to extract more resources from the earth. This is really stupid because nothing in the physical world grows forever, especially when you're on a planet with finite resources. Seeing as our environment's climate is currently collapsing and people are starting to understand that, our economies may shift toward digital growth instead. Early signs can already be seen in today's workforce, where some employees are trained with VR headsets to reduce expenses on training. But that's just the beginning. A total shift in the way we define value is entering the mainstream, with a very common strategy used in the real world: artificial scarcity. As I speak, people are currently buying and selling digital real estate for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's all happening with various early-stage metaverse worlds, and a common theme between them is the use of blockchain technologies to create a finite amount of space that can be purchased and used. Some worlds already have democracies in place to vote on how the world changes, and even allow you to benefit financially by becoming a participant. It's anybody's guess which one will exist decades from now, but the concept offers a very interesting opportunity to expand our perception of reality and how we interact with the economy. So what is digital land anyways, and what does it have to do with the metaverse? Believe it or not, it's literally just data, but works like real life land, where the location and size often play a huge role in its value. For instance, if you had a piece of land that was programmed near a really popular area within the world, it means you could build a structure or essentially set up a business to sell all types of products and services. This could include NFT art or even a virtual showroom for the latest Apple product, further connecting the real world and the digital one. Attending concerts, taking your date skydiving, or even meeting friends for yoga are all within the realm of possibility. Assuming a virtual world has a lot of active users, it could provide many creative ways to generate value and meaning for people. The real question is, how might all of this start? I mean, if you look back at interviews from the 90s, very few people thought the first version of the internet was going to catch on.
And what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
But now it's in everyone's pocket. Currently, the driving force seems to be Metaverse Gaming, or sometimes called play-to-earn games, which are different from normal games because the in-game currency is a cryptocurrency, which can be exchanged for normal real-world money. Some games today even provide marketplaces where players can sell avatars or in-game items to make profits, and insanely enough, some people in poor countries are making a better living playing than working a normal job. Because of this, I'd wager gaming is going to be a great on-ramp to introduce more people to the early metaverse. That being said, I think the majority of people are going to be seeking something more casual and lifelike if they're going to spend a lot of time in these digital worlds. And potentially, in theory, that's where porn comes in. I mean, the porn industry innovated the way credit cards were used online back in the 90s. And I think they're going to innovate again, but this time on a very personal level. First off, I gotta throw all the men under the bus because I suspect developments will be led by dudes. And sure, fantasy sex worlds will definitely attract more people, but the innovation may come from something less sexual in nature. In an effort to satisfy users of these explicit worlds, it's possible the AI within could become very advanced at evaluating someone's needs and desires. Algorithms that identify human emotion or body language could be extremely useful in filling other metaverse worlds with complex and interesting AI civilians. So maybe something like Westworld, but hopefully without all the existentially murderous robots. Time will tell if my projections are right, but either way, the build out of the metaverse is happening now, and it's going to challenge everything from our culture to our economy, and for some, even the concept of love. I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly how things will play out, but if you enjoyed my breakdown and speculations, you can actually jump into the world of Orbiter by subscribing for more. But if you're just a visitor, the toll comes out to be a smash of the like button. Well anyways, that's it for this one. I want you to stay safe, keep thinking, keep orbiting, and I will see you in the next one.